Welcome back to the Second and Short podcast where the entire playbook is open. I'm Josiah.
I'm Christian.
Hayden.
I'm Eli.
Don't forget that the link for the Spotify is in the description for those who like to listen audio only.
Yeah, so today we have a fun episode for you guys. We have a bunch of trivia questions. Luke has a couple of his Audible segments that are famous. But first, we have to start with the news of the day. Ken Dorsey dismissed as Buffalo's offensive coordinator. Joe Brady, the current quarterback's coach, will fill in the interim role. Buffalo, I mean, they're 5-5. My take started to come alive. The Allen turnovers have been depatical to their season so far, and making the playoffs seems like a stretch at this point.
I feel like it's like they're like good every quinquennium of years. It's
Just keep rolling. That was so unsmooth.
It felt super forced. It was like the fourth word you ever said in the whole podcast. My God.
I hate that word. Dude.
Just keep rolling.
You could edit that whatever way you want. I'm floating.
No, we're not starting that up. We're not gonna be able to start for like an hour.
Resume your thought.
What?
Every quinquennium.
I feel like they're good for 5 years and then they start falling off again. It's like seems like a Bills thing. They're either good for a little bit and then they start falling off when they have a good roster.
I don't know. I feel like they're still going to always be relevant just because of Josh Allen. But I don't know. I feel like Sean McDermott is the Walmart version of Mike Tomlin in good ways and bad ways, where his team's always going to be relevant, always going to be good. But I question their ability to knock off these elite teams like a Kansas City with Andy Reid and Mahomes.
So will Joe Brady have the offense the rest of the year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. The Bills are just kind of an enigma. Like it just seems like every year, like they get close or they're really good, they're really hyped up, and then they just can't do something. And so something had to give. Like somebody had to ring the Angelus bell in the sense that like they had to do something. And I think that I don't know that the offensive coordinator was the one who was to blame for everything, but at the same time, like the offense was struggling. It was very clear. So I mean, is this a sign that like you had talked about, like Sean McDermott's on the hot seat? If they don't make the playoffs, is he gone? I think the answer is yeah, absolutely.
Bring in an offensive-minded head coach.
Absolutely.
I saw this one thing actually where if Dable gets fired, if he wants back, that they might trade for Dable.
I don't know about
They want Dable because I guess that well, it was just like a thing like on another podcast someone brought up, but I guess that after when Dable left, I guess him and McDermott fell off bad terms and they didn't talk to each other. So if Dable goes back there, I don't know.
And then just to backtrack, for those of you that don't know, Joe Brady, the interim offensive coordinator, he's still a young mastermind. He was the wizard behind that 2019 LSU offense with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Edwards-Helaire, and of course, Joe Burrow. From there, he kind of struggled. He was the offensive coordinator in Carolina during the Matt Rule era. Never got things going with Sam Darnold, got fired, and then Buffalo picked him up last year. There's some talent there, and I don't know if that talent translates more to the college level or the pro level yet, but he's young enough where I know Eli wants him to go to Penn State and be their offense coordinator because he got to start as a grad assistant there. There's a place for him in the football world. I just don't know where it is yet.
I mean, so like the whole Bills thing, like if you look at their team stats, their offense is top 10 in scoring percentage. So like scores or points per drive or points on possession, but then their turnover percentage is I think second in the league. So like even though they're turning the ball over so much, they're still scoring on a lot of their drives. So I don't know if it's really the right move to fire their offensive coordinator unless there was something else going on. I don't know. I don't think it was the right move, honestly. There's still over half the season a little less than half the season to be played, but I don't know.
I think some of the blame's on Allen too. Like most of it is because I mean that second fumble that people were trying to blame on Cook, that's his fault. He just dropped it like that. That's why Cook was confused. You need to put it in his stomach so he knows that he's at least going to get it. That was all Allen there. I feel like Allen just makes some stupid stuff whenever he just messes up.
Right. It's like a lot of times you see a scapegoat for a head coach, like when a head coach fires an offensive coordinator, but this was almost like it was a scapegoat for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And I feel like even Brandon Beane, the general manager, deserves some of the blame. How much talk have we heard the last couple of years about OBJ finally going to Buffalo, getting any receiver with speed, because Gabe Davis has his moments and then James Cook kind of sporadic. But in reality, it's Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. And then Josh Allen's
out. So
yeah,
or at least Trayvon wants him.
Which, and that's where is part of it. Like, is it a Diggs thing? Like they're trying to get him to stick around. Maybe he didn't like Dorsey and was blaming him not getting the ball on Dorsey. Like I don't understand how this elevates the Bills, other than maybe it puts a fire under a couple of guys, because like obviously their offense isn't going to be revamped now. I'm sure Brady will call a similar offense to what Dorsey called. They're not just going to change everything. But I don't understand how this helps your team unless Dorsey was that bad of an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, I'll throw out another name real quick there, but like, I mean, we kind of talked about him earlier, and he's a guy who's been a head coach. But like Cliff Kingsbury at one point had Kyler Murray in the conversation for MVP before Call of Duty came out that year, and like Kyler Murray was on pace to be in the MVP conversation, but at the end of the year, so like he can do it with these guys. Is like maybe he wasn't a great fit for a head coach. We've had that conversation on here before. Like some guys are meant to be coordinators. Like maybe Cliff Kingsbury is a guy who could take the Bills offensively to the next level.
And the thing, Eli, if you want to pull up Buffalo's remaining schedule, it's a gauntlet. Every single game, with the exception of one against New England, I believe, will be primetime television, either in that prime 425 slot or an actual night primetime game. People are going to be watching. These games are tough. They just lost to Denver. They're 5-5. The AFC is competitive. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 6-3 right now. They don't have time to get things back on track. It's going to be hard the rest of the way. It has to be a quick turnaround. Otherwise, my take will become right, and we're going to be looking at a new head coach to work with Josh Allen.
Yeah, they're not going to walk into the playoffs, like especially in the position that they're now. They're going to have to fight and claw and have a lot go right for them to make the playoffs this year.
They have Jets, Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers, Pats, Dolphins, and even if they go 5-2 in that, they're 10-7 and have to fight for a wild card in a tough AFC, and hopefully the North eats itself alive, but which it might.
Yeah, and they're not beating the Dolphins 48-20 again with the team that they're playing right now. Like they're not beating the Dolphins again.
Jets, if they get Rodgers back, are a way different Jets team. Fine. I don't. Do any of you guys have anything else to say about it?
Well, Dorsey, you think he'll like what happens usually with coordinators that fizzle out like this? Do they get another chance as a coordinator? Is he just going to be a position coach somewhere for a couple of years and then bounce back?
I think a position coach for a couple of years, then he bounces. He's still
like
young.
Flores thing for him, like when he went to the Steelers.
Yeah, he's younger. I think he'll land somewhere as a QB coach, whether it's at a prestigious Power 5 team or with an NFL team. And then we'll see where it goes from there. You can either fizzle out for good from there. Like Jay Gruden comes to mind. He went to Jacksonville as an offensive coordinator, and then we never heard from him again. Sometimes it's better to take a smaller role with a better team and then work your way up from there. But Josie, you want to hit it away with some trivia?
Sure. Let's go right into one. So this question is based around the fact that I feel like there are quite a few tight ends who are either playing really well this year as a rookie or who have a lot of potential to be really good. Obviously, people are talking about Sam Laporta. Michael Mayer has a lot of talent. What'd you say? Musgrave? Yeah, like there are a lot of guys that have a lot of potential. And so the question is, the most receiving yards by a rookie tight end in NFL history. Who was it and how many?
Kyle Pitts?
Incorrect. It was before Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is second by 50 yards, almost exactly 50
right?
yards.
Gronkowski only had
Gonzalez.
Yeah, but think of like, I bet you this isn't like
Gonzalez did really good his rookie year and then fell off.
Kelsey took a couple of years.
Kelsey didn't even play his rookie year.
Gonzalez was up to, because I remember Gonzalez starting off and then he had like one off year, but then he kept it going after that. So it's definitely Gonzalez is sharp.
When was Gonzalez drafted? 98? Was he a part of that Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson class? Hines Ward?
Well, who was his coach in California? It wasn't Phillips. Who was the guy who you may think's overrated? He's on NFL Network with like Bradshaw on them.
Bradshaw's not on NFL Network.
Or whatever one they're on.
He's on Fox?
Fox, yeah.
Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah, wasn't Jimmy Johnson his head coach?
No, he was Cowboys and Dolphins.
Who was his head coach? Because his head coach from college left the same year to go to the Niners, and the Niners were trying to draft him.
Oh, Steve Mariucci?
Yeah, it was Mariucci.
About like
so what year did he go?
When did he coach Gonzalez?
In California, he did. He was
I don't think Mariucci was ever the head coach at Cal.
Well, what about Witten?
Nah, I don't know.
Witten was like a 7th round pick.
Really?
Josie, is it Shannon Sharp?
It is not Shannon Sharp. Shannon
Ramon
Sharp.
Gonzalez.
I feel like it's
Gonzalez.
someone somewhat recent because he
It's not
said it's
Gonzalez.
before Pitts, but he wasn't.
I'm not
like
Googling.
way
I'm
before
Googling like
Pitts.
Cal's head coach.
Like what? Like I'm thinking like early 2010s. He gave a little smirk.
Do you want the year?
Yeah.
No.
That's
I
gonna
think
give
that's,
it away.
We've already wasted
us a-
this much time.
give us like a decade.
The 60s.
Yeah, it was
the
Steve
60s.
Mariucci.
The
The
60s.
60s.
Ozzie Newsome.
No, you know who it is.
Oh, it's Ditka.
Yeah.
It's Mike Ditka.
Oh, really?
He had 1,076 yards. Kyle Pitts had
Jeez.
1,026.
Teams pass that much.
was
So
Oh.
so here's the next part of the question, because this is a two-parter question. He also has the record for most receiving touchdowns by a tight end in a season, by a rookie tight end. What's that number?
20.
Too high.
20 is a lot.
Too
20 is a
high,
lot by a
really?
rookie. Remember
no,
a
like
rookie.
11.
22 is the record all
Close.
time.
And I won't guess again.
I'm going to go
Too high.
13.
12.
12. That's all right. That is the record. Here's the kicker: 14 games. 14 games. He had 1,076 receiving yards, 12 touchdowns.
Did we put Ditka on our top 5?
We
Should.
definitely
We
talked-
should.
we
might
talked
have to
about it.
revisit.
I threw out his name. I did throw out his name in that
Can
conversation.
you
shot-
throw like a
I remember-
hyperlink to
No,
that
no,
audible? Because
I shot it down because my argument was, what's he going to do in today's? Like, are we talking about of their time best tight ends?
We did-
or-
we did put him in there.
Eli's
We did
our
put him in
scapegoat.
there.
He's the reason why.
I was
he's a-
I was one of the, I don't think I was the only reason why.
He's
but
a
I
Hall of Fame
definitely
head
argued.
coach and player, right? Both. I think he's in the Hall of Fame for.
But are we talking? But again, if we're talking
Think
best
so?
tight ends of like if you put Kyle Pitts in the 1960s,
Yeah. You want to hear the crazy part? He
He's
only
just
had
mossing
50
He's a quarterback, probably.
He only had 56 receptions. He
quarterback,
went for
safety,
1,076
linebacker, edge
yards.
rusher.
Isn't that insane? That's nuts. I saw those stats and I was like, that is maybe the most insane stat I've seen in a while. So,
Hit us with another one.
all right, here's another one. Highest score ever for combined score in an NFL game, in honor of the 70-point outing that happened with the Miami Dolphins.
So how
this
many
year.
touchdowns?
Is
did he have in the
recency
game?
bias sneaking in, but is it the Jared Goff Mahomes showdown?
It is not. I believe that one went over 100 points.
107 or something, was it 55, 52.
Is it a game that we know? Or is it like way out there?
It's a game that you know because it was semi-mentioned this year
Was it a Philly?
in affiliation with the Miami Dolphins game. What?
That was tough. I was asking if Eagles were involved in it.
I don't know.
Feels like.
So we're trying to guess how many points total.
How many points total?
How much was the Dolphins one?
They scored 70. And then there was 20 points by the Broncos.
I'm going to go 112,
Very close.
113,
113.
113.
113. The Washington Redskins scored 72 and the New York Giants scored 41. Yes, it was the Redskins. It was not the Commanders. It was the Redskins.
At the time.
That was in 1966.
Washington versus who?
Washington versus the Giants.
Okay.
And Washington had Sonny Jurgensen at quarterback.
Wow.
Yeah.
He might be the only player that we recognize from either one of those rosters.
Exactly.
But all right, you have another one?
I do know.
Omaha.
All right.
I want to talk about commentators. Do whatever you want. If you want to do a top 5 best, top 5 worst, talk about commentators, how good or bad they are, whatever you guys want.
Troy
Talking about
Aikman,
a
most
dude-
overrated one.
Yeah,
So I was gonna ask, do we want to do a combination of the two together? Like Troy Aikman and Joe Buck are easily
Like
the
best
worst.
duo one?
are we
Right?
doing college and NFL
Or are we gonna do
just
them
NFL?
individually?
Just NFL.
Just
Just NFL.
Just NFL.
Okay. Gus
Right.
Johnson's still my least favorite.
Well, Gus Johnson had a streak there in the NFL
Yeah,
also. So
that's why he's my least favorite NFL guy too.
So whatever you guys want to do with it.
So are we doing like
Let's do individually. I mean, Troy Aikman's my number one worst. I can't listen to the guy talk.
okay.
So like Booger McFarland, yes, that
Yeah,
should
he's
count.
number one.
But like, I
That-
think
that
Troy and
gimmick
Booger
with
are.
the-
do you remember when Booger had like his little chair?
That was the worst thing I've ever seen. in
Okay,
my life.
okay. I'm sorry. I'll throw out another guy. John Gruden when he was on Monday Night Football.
It's
was
literally
awful.
every single Monday Night Football.
I didn't mind Gruden when he was on. Sean McDonough was terrible.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football is just the worst.
Yeah.
Monday Night
Can't stand
Football always
Monday Night
has,
Football.
yeah.
But it's like the
Collinsworth-
most prestigious out of all the prime time because it's been around.
Collinsworth Sunday night.
Collinsworth's horrible.
Look at Mahomes, man. So
like-
inspirational.
Collinsworth like rolls into his chair.
But yeah, I mean, I'll throw out the names: Joe Buck, Troy Aikman.
I think
Booger
Buck's
McFarland.
underrated because of
I
how
think
much
Buck's
hate he
actually
gets.
good.
I think he gets so
He
much
does
hate.
so much too. He does like every sport.
All right.
I don't.
If
I
we're
don't
talking
like him,
every
but he's-
sport, Jim Nance. I love me
Yeah.
some
Jim
Jim.
Nance.
I love Jim Nance. Are we doing
Not
that?
Sims.
Phil
Not
Sims
Sims.
is
I like
my pick,
Nance,
too.
not Sims.
Oh yeah.
Nance a good golf guy.
Ian
too.
Eagle's voice annoys me a little bit. I like him as a commentator,
I
but
like
his
Ian
voice
Eagle.
is a little bit.
And his name's Ian instead
Ian
of
instead of
Ian.
Ian.
What the heck? Yeah. Al Michaels. And
Nah.
you don't like Al?
It's well, he has like the most iconic call of all time with
Everybody
Miracle.
can follow. Are you guys naming your worst? Or
I think we're just going through.
We're just
it's a little chaotic.
I like Al
guess I'm just
Michaels.
bringing
But
the
he,
topic of-
Yeah.
Al does need to retire, but I do like him.
See, but I kind of am amused by how
But that's-
Al does these terrible Thursday night games, and
Exactly.
he's voicing how pissed off he is every single week. It's
But
so
it's
funny.
going to be sad if he's known as the guy that did the bad Thursday night games at the end of his career instead of the guy that like has the most iconic call ever.
You want to hear an interesting perspective on Tony Romo? So I heard this.
I like Romo.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It's actually a comedian who said I can't remember who it was off the top of my head who said this, but watching Tony Romo call a game shows just how untalented Tony Romo was as an athlete because he knows exactly what's going to happen every single play and he wasn't able to exploit it. It's like I never thought about it that way. It's like he knows what's going to happen, but he wasn't talented enough to do anything about it.
Yeah, and I
It's
think
kind of an interesting perspective.
he I guess he is doing some color now, commentating for those who didn't know. I guess Dan Orlovsky, 12 years as a backup quarterback. Now he's one of the faces of sports media.
I also love Greg Olson. Greg Olson's been great.
Stephen A.
Like he's yeah.
Can you imagine
A.
Stephen A. in a booth like calling a game?
I mean, if we're going down the Stephen A. Smith route, we gotta also throw Skip Bayless out there.
Colin Coward.
John Madden.
Did you see the Colin Coward?
With Joyne Haskins?
No, well, that was terrible too. But did you see? Was it him with Bears saying that they're out of the Caleb Williams state? I think it was him.
Sweepstakes?
Yeah, he
Because
was
of
saying-
agent?
because they won, and then it like while he was saying it, it popped up the updated draft, and I had
They
the
were-
Bears number one because of the
gosh.
Panthers.
Yeah, I
Like,
can't
these
stand
guys don't do
Coward.
research.
Colin Coward's the worst.
I think it was Coward. It might have-
yeah, Coward's. I can't.
I guess we just need to replace Colin Coward, Skip Bayless, all of them. Like,
yeah, for
that's
real.
our job.
That's us.
Did we miss anyone? I think we went through.
Yeah.
I feel like that's mostly.
Mike Tirico.
Well, there's, like,
I like Mike Tirico.
Mike Tirico.
There's
fan.
like those
Yeah.
secondary guys on Fox too, like
Mhm.
Jonathan Vilma.
The guy that's like the voice of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Charles Davis. I like Charles Davis.
Bob Pompiani.
CD.
Love his.
I love Bob Pompiani.
I don't
like
love
Tirico's obviously good.
Achos.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Well, I mean,
right?
what? Yeah.
They're both
Emmanuel
college-ish
Acho
guys,
is
but-
he's doing The Bachelor now, I think, isn't
Really?
he? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love
Yeah,
them.
He replaced that one guy after that one guy got
trying to see if
some
I'm missing
trouble with
anyone big
touching.
right now.
I think.
No, the only one who I really think of is Davis. I like Davis a lot. But
Davis.
that's the only one I
Charles
really- Charles
Davis. Oh,
Davis.
Charles Davis.
Sarah Walsh. She's not.
Who's the
bad,
other one on
so-
Madden? Charles Davis and he's been on.
Charles would be the play-by-play.
yeah, and then
so-
there's another voice on there. I can't remember who it is, but
Dwayne Haskins, Colin Coward.
I know, so bad.
yeah, that's bad.
Such
I don't even remember that.
All right.
He said like there's no way Dwayne Haskins can win a Super Bowl after he passed.
He put him in a list of people who would never quarterbacks who would never win a Super Bowl, and Dwayne Haskins' name was on there after he was already.
There were
Passed away.
none that egregious, but there were another couple that were just like he put EJ Manuel on there,
Yeah.
who hadn't played in 2 years and hasn't been a starter since like
football. He doesn't watch
2016.
football.
But all right, I actually have a new game for you guys.
No huddle.
No huddle.
No,
All right, we got another.
Going back to
All
back,
right.
baby.
Talk about how the podcast started. We never really talked about it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Wait, who wants to take
All I
it?
know is Josie told me, yeah, he's about podcasts. And I was just like, yeah, I'll do it.
Well, so Hayden and I would always we've worked together, and Christian as well for years, and it just kind of started.
And
Luke,
Webster.
Sorry, Luke.
Shout out producer.
The producer with the mostest. But anytime somebody was on break or we had some free time, we would be talking about football constantly, just throwing out hypotheticals, which if you don't know it, sports guys love hypotheticals. Shout out to Hannah Wisniewski. But we would constantly be talking about football, this and that. We would do predictions, different stuff like that. And Hayden one day was like, hey, why don't we just do like a podcast? Start recording, doing all this stuff. We'll post it on social media. We'll post it on YouTube, different things like that. Anything to add?
Yeah, just a little background on all of us. Luke, our producer, he went to school for this, basically producing, making content. So it was a good fit there. Me, Eli, and Christian are obviously related. They're both huge sports fans. Eli's one of the smartest sports fans I know, with all the statistics and stuff.
I'm Hayden's protege.
Yeah, Christian likes to say he's my protege because I've taught him everything. Josie, huge sports guy. I actually started at Syracuse University. For those of you that don't know, Newhouse School of Communications, it's top of the mark right there with Michigan, Northwestern. Things didn't work out for me there, but I just always had like a sports communication itch. So timing finally started to work out. Got in touch with Luke, made sure he'd be able to help out with all the editing and filming and just kind of putting together what I wanted. And then me and Josie, Christian, just a bunch of fans. So
and like making sure it happened, because like I remember when he first brought it up, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna start a sports.
like, okay, and I'm sure, yeah.
And then he kept like telling me about it. I'm like, okay, like this is really gonna happen. And then we like bought our equipment on Amazon. And
Shout out Bezos.
yeah, Bezos supplying.
The rest is history.
No, but we're what now, 11 episodes in?
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
Yeah. All of us are having fun and we've been hinting at it. We have some ideas coming for you guys, whether it's new segments. We have a couple of gambling things that we might introduce. We're actually going to start posting more content on TikTok. So make sure you follow us at Second and Short Podcast.
Maybe a live stream at some.
Yeah, a live stream. We actually have some guests that might end up being recurring. And then we're also looking to find interviews for you guys that we might post instead of episodes for certain weeks. So next week, actually, Eli is abandoning us and we're going to have someone filling in for his seat. So more information to come with that. But thanks for supporting, and we have fun and we're not planning on stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. But
Want another trivia question?
yeah, let's do it.
Great. Fantastic. All right. So, next question. Who in the history of the NFL has the most franchise playoff losses?
Most
Cowboys.
franchise playoff.
Not Cowboys.
So good team.
Not the Niners.
Steelers.
Packers.
Not the Steelers.
If we're going off like the last 10 years, probably the Steelers.
People who have like been in the most playoff
Sure,
appearances and most Super Bowls.
Is it Detroit?
It's not Detroit.
Not Green Bay.
Who's made the most?
Bills.
It's not the Bills.
Oh,
Whoever's
That's a good
made the
guess,
most
though.
playoffs probably has the most losses.
The Chiefs and Bills. Not the Colts.
Not the Colts.
Who do you think has made the playoffs the most times?
The Packers have a lot later. Like when the
Packers
NFL
ever.
just started. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a team that we think about now, but kind of tied in with the Packers. Is
Wouldn't
it
be the Browns.
Chicago?
Not Chicago.
Because the Browns were good back then.
Yeah, but they've had like
Josie's
one Super Bowl.
smirking. Is it
They've-
Cleveland?
Is it really Cleveland?
No, they've had like one
No.
playoff loss in the last like what?
You've
20
guessed.
years.
I'll give you this as your hint. You've guessed all the other three teams in this team's division.
oh shoot.
Did someone
I knew that wasn't going to be that great of a
Did
hint,
someone
but it
guess
is
the
interesting
Lions?
that you guessed.
Yeah,
Lions,
someone
Green
that
Bay.
Vikings?
It's the Vikings. You guessed all three teams in the division. Other than that,
Really?
So
The
the Vikings have
Guess they were
31 playoff
nuts in
losses.
the
Let me
80s
put
and
this in
90s,
perspective
right?
for you. That means that they made the playoffs 31 times and didn't win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Because you only get one playoff loss per season.
So do they have the
Only
most?
been in one
30
Super Bowl, right?
Four. They've appeared
Yeah.
in 4 and lost all of them, same as the Bills.
They
Do
went
they-
one with Randy Moss, right?
Another
they
perspective
never
on
went.
the most
but they made the
wins
playoffs.
in the playoffs by a franchise is the Patriots at
I'm not
37.
surprised.
Do the Vikings have the most playoff appearances?
I don't actually know the answer to that one. I could try to find it here real quick.
Probably,
But
right?
49.
the Patriots only have 37 playoff wins.
It's all recent. It's all the past 20 years.
Because you also got to
Well, if
think
it's
there were
not the
years that they
Vikings, then
didn't
it has
lose in
to
the
be
playoffs.
close.
If you win the Super Bowl, you don't
Because
have
how
a
many
playoff
Super
loss.
Bowl do the Cowboys have?
Right? Yeah. So
Like 3. How many Super Bowls do the Cowboys have? 4?
4.
5.
It's
5.
4.
Cowboys have 5. Cowboys
Yeah.
and Niners have 5.
Cowboys,
Patriots
Niners,
and
yeah.
Steelers
You're
have
right.
6.
You're right.
Make them 36 playoffs to.
The Packers have what, 4?
The Patriots have more now. I thought it was Steelers 6.
Patriots have 6.
Patriots.
All
I thought
6 were
Patriots had
Brady.
7, and then we had
Nah, Brady
6.
has.
Brady
7.
has all 6.
Yeah.
Because Bledsoe made one in the 90s, and then I think they made a couple, at least one in the 80s, because they lost to Chicago's 85 team, I think.
No, they won them. They beat Chicago.
No, they didn't.
You sure they didn't?
Positive, because it was Walter Payton.
Oh no, I was thinking. Never mind.
Refrigerator
I was thinking-
Perry,
I was thinking
Jim
the
McMahon.
I was thinking the Colts Bears for some reason.
Google says
Packers 35, Cowboys 35, Steelers 33, Giants 33, Rams 31, Vikings 31.
What was number 1?
Packers and Cowboys
Packers
tied.
Cowboys 35.
So how many Super Bowls do the Packers have?
3.
Who?
The Packers are 3.
4.
Is
There's
it 4?
4.
Okay.
4.
So then would
2 at the beginning, 1 with Favre and 1 with Rodgers.
Yeah.
they'd be tied with Vikings, right, for most of the offers.
Mhm.
That game still bothers me. I wasn't a football fan, but that 2010 Super Bowl, I watched it on YouTube. Roethlisberger throws 2 picks, but he played out of his mind. Have you guys seen the stuff with Bruce Arians? Supposedly, since Ben didn't win MVP either of the previous 2 Super Bowls, it was Ward and then Holmes. There was a concerted effort to make Ben the MVP. And that kind of is what started the friction with Bruce Arians and Tomlin. He obviously got another year there in 2011. That was the Tim Tebow. But then that was when he was kind of retired / forced into retirement. He goes to Indy and then kind of takes off from there. And Pittsburgh brings in Todd Haley.
Didn't Mendenhall have a fumble that was a big key to us losing?
That was at the very end. That's what sealed it. It was Clay Matthews, defensive player of the year.
I think we were having a good drive too, and he fumbled.
Yeah, it was a very back and forth game, but Pittsburgh just had too many turnovers and mistakes.
Mhm.
Both teams also got crazy banged up. Charles Woodson,
Donald Driver broke his leg too, or his arm too.
Emmanuel Sanders went out. People don't realize Emmanuel Sanders and Antonio Brown were rookies that year. AB could have won a Super Bowl just before he was AB,
That was the year of the helmet catch, I'm pretty sure.
where he was on the sideline. Yeah,
Yeah.
Was it that year? I thought that was a couple years later.
they were wearing those almost pre color rush uniforms.
Sanders went to 3 teams? He was on Steelers and then what?
And then he went to
Broncos.
Denver, made a name
49ers,
there.
Saints. 49ers,
Niners.
Saints, Bills.
Then Saints, and then Bills. He spent half a season in San Fran mentoring Debo.
And he lost. That was the year they went to the Super Bowl and they lost. Because remember, Jimmy G overthrew him and he had a touchdown.
It's the only time he didn't play for a Hall of Fame quarterback. Unless you count the transition between Drew Brees to Jameis Winston I think he was there for that.
Was that Jameis's year, or was that? I think
Maybe
that
that was
might have been
Taysom.
still Teddy.
Oh,
I think it would have been Teddy / Taysom.
Yeah,
stuff.
because he went from Ben Roethlisberger to Peyton Manning to Jimmy G, who was the only as of right now and probably
Was
ever
it
not
Jimmy G at
the
that
Hall of
point?
Famer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was he missed the throw to I think Emmanuel Sanders in the Super Bowl, and that's kind of what started to lead to the Brady rumors.
Yeah. And then he went from there to I think he also played for Josh Allen, which is borderline, but a lot of people are
On
still pretty
pace,
high
on
him.
pace, yeah. All right. Well, since we're kind of naming out old players, I actually have a new game for us. Shout out Todd Burchanowski for kind of inventing this game. He used to just take class time to put me in front of the class and have me name out where these NFL players went to college. So I have a good list of players, probably around 10 here, all former players. None are active anymore. And then I'm going to have you guys try and work together and see if you have their college. Luke, if you want to chip in, if you hear anyone that you know. We're going to start off with Robert Mathis. Spent time with the Colts his whole entire career. He was the other edge rusher in that Dwight Freeney dominant Colts era.
Let's say Texas.
Close in vicinity.
Shoot. Texas Tech.
Sorry, who was it?
Robert Mathis.
Getting out on some tight
I
end
said
stats.
Texas or Texas Tech.
Dick
I was
is like-
between that.
Dick is a monster.
He's like what 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's get Dick on the show.
Got a little stogie sticking out of his mouth. Heck yeah.
He's like 23rd in all-time career tight end receiving yards.
Listen, still a dog. What about receiving touchdowns?
I don't think he had that many.
All right, get over it, Eli. Let's go.
You guys still think about Robert Mathis?
Like in
You said I'm in the
20s.
vicinity, right?
He had,
yeah, so like if
It's
you
not-
look
it's
at
not
the United
Texas
he had
Tech.
43. Gates had
Is it
116.
TCU?
Did you say Texas?
Different era. You said it yourself.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine Gates in the
You
60s.
say Texas A&M.
Imagine.
No, it's a-
Dick,
there's
it's
no way.
not Texas A&M, but
Now,
that's a pretty good hint.
Longhorn.
dog water.
I already said that.
No,
You said it wasn't A&M.
it's not A&M,
Not
but that
Texas,
name
not
gives you
A&M.
guys a hint.
Sorry, one more time.
Robert
What's
Mathis.
the other A&M team?
That's why I can't think of another A&M.
What's the other A&M team? Isn't there another team that is A&M?
Well, there's like
I said it's close in vicinity
Oh.
to Texas, and you're on the right track with the A&M.
like Alabama A&M is a team.
It's
in
Alabama
FCS.
A&M.
Yeah.
I would have never got
I wouldn't
that.
have got it.
I think that
And I
one's
like Robert Mathis
I was
as a
just
player too. Like
gonna be in the Hall of Fame probably. I think
close.
it's hard because
Yeah.
those edge rushers, all of them.
I didn't know
but,
we were doing FCS.
well,
Okay, here's a question.
that's the hardest
That
one.
kind of goes along. More likely to be in the Hall of Fame, James Harrison, Robert Mathis,
Ooh.
I will go Mathis.
because they're pretty similar.
I think Harrison's more likely.
Because he has a
The name
defensive player
recognition.
of the
I think
year.
he's the name recognition. Defensive player, because Harrison's stats don't really compare because his prime was literally like 4 years.
People feared him.
But I think the Super Bowl play, the fact that he has two Super Bowl ring, I think he should wait. I don't think should get in anytime soon. But I do think eventually he has a place in Canton.
I really hope so.
All right, that was the hardest one. Next up, we have Donovan McNabb, quarterback, Eagles, Washington, Minnesota. But he was really Philadelphia's like quarterback during
Yeah.
all those early 2000s.
It's like cheating, right, for me.
You guys have like a minute because Eli knows it. That's also a hint.
Wait, do I not? Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do.
I don't watch college football, dude.
Christian, anything?
This was before I was a fan. I'm just trying to think. He knows where out. So is it Big Ten?
No.
Shoot.
SEC?
Big East.
Oh, I know.
What is it?
Syracuse?
Yes.
No,
He
okay.
was Cusa's
You get that away because I was down.
Yeah.
Shoot, it's right there.
Mhm.
All right. Next, we have Wes Welker.
Texas Tech.
Correct.
Todd already came up here.
Yeah, I mentioned it. That's right.
All right. Curtis Martin, running back for the Patriots and then the Jets. He went to a school that's very prestigious for running backs.
Who the hell is this, dude?
I don't know
I don't know who this guy is.
Wasn't Bama?
He's a Hall of Fame running back from early
Georgia?
2000s. Nope. ACC.
ACC?
Big East ACC.
Pitt.
I'll say.
Part of that RBU train. All right. LeGarrette Blunt,
Oh,
Cool.
shoot.
Oregon.
Eli's favorite
Oh,
player.
Yes. Oregon.
Why is he your favorite player? Or being
Because
physically?
Madden,
just liked him in
he was
Madden.
so
He was
We
good.
did so
Just
many
couldn't
Madden
tackle.
connected franchises with
He was-
LeGarrette
You know,
Blount.
he was their kick returner his rookie year in
Really?
Tampa.
He's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, he's huge, but he was their kick returner his rookie
Yeah,
season.
you just gonna shoot.
Don't you still think that like he planned his departure from Pittsburgh? That's like your conspiracy
I
theory.
jokingly said that he was a Bill Belichick spy in order to keep an edge up on Pittsburgh because he
Until he
also.
went to Philly and
I'm-
won a Super Bowl there.
I'm not gonna say that Le'Veon Bell isn't responsible for his own actions. I also think that LeGarrette Blount had
Le'Veon did a
bad
lot of pot
influence
before
on
and after
Le'Veon
Blount.
Bell. That's all I'm saying.
All right, sticking with the running,
Super Bowl with the Eagles.
sticking with the running back trend. Felix Jones, another former Steelers backup, spent a lot of time with Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Dude, man.
Eli, this one I thought he split time with Darren McFadden at Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
Dwayne Allen, the other tight end the Colts drafted in addition to Kobe Fleener?
Kobe Fleener. I haven't heard that name in a long time. He had the flow.
ACC?
ACC? Kobe Fleener.
Kobe Fleener. It wasn't no.
Is it
Was it
ACC?
Notre Dame?
No.
No.
Well, Notre Dame
Fleener
technically
was
is
Stanford,
ACC.
but Dwayne Allen is ACC.
It's not Clemson.
It is.
It is? Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
Clemson. That's it. Oh, I knew that because when I was looking up the Taj Boyd stats from the last one, I saw Dwayne Allen's name on there.
Muhammad Wilkerson,
Oh,
dominant D tackle.
Dude, I should know this too. I don't even know this. Is it? No, it's not ACC. SEC at all. There's no shot.
It was a school that we mentioned during our pre-podcast meeting, during our rundown. We mentioned
UCLA.
Texas Tech. We mentioned UCLA,
Nah, it wasn't
Pennsylvania
UCLA.
school, Temple.
was it Temple?
Oh, yeah.
Sean Davis.
Oh, Maryland.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
Eli's favorite school.
Let's say I might not know all of them, but I'm a Steelers guy. I knew he went to Maryland.
All right, two more. Shane Ray.
Ooh, he's UCLA.
No, he's not.
What? He was Pac-12.
No, he's not.
Oh, shoot.
SEC.
Shane Ray.
Yeah, the
Why am I
edge.
blanking on
He
his-
was
Georgia.
the first round edge rusher that Missouri. He
Oh,
fell in
shoot.
the draft due to drugs, I believe. and then-
R-E-Y?
R-A-Y.
R-A-Y. And then he was the back. Him and Shaq Barrett were the backups to DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, last one. Maurice Jones-Drew.
Oh,
One of those amazing 2000s running
Oh,
backs.
this one's gonna. I loved him so much. He's so small.
He's a muscle hamster.
Isn't his-
Doug Martin. There's another name for you.
In college right now, or like almost.
He might
Jerome
be. I wouldn't be
Bettis'
surprised.
son and Mike Tomlin's son are teammates or that.
He's
something like
ACC.
His
that.
son is in Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Maurice is ACC, right?
Maurice
Jones
is
Drew, I'm pretty sure
What
has a
state?
son named like.
Maurice is on the other side of the country.
Oh, shoot.
Because I think that's part of the reason Jones Drew retired was he wanted to like help his son like.
So Pac.
He retired in 2014, so I'm not sure because he's been out of the. he was
is
with
it-
NFL
It's not
Network now.
Oregon, is it?
No,
I don't think it's Cal.
Just Stanford?
no.
You're giving me a look.
You guys are in the right state.
Oh, shoot.
It's in Cal-
USC?
Cal. It's in Cal.
Oh, it is Cal.
What's USC's number one rival?
UCLA.
Yeah, I would say
UCLA.
Was he?
It
Wow.
was UCLA? Oh.
Mhm.
Give us a
lot of these were before
current
I was
player.
even real.
Yeah,
Current player,
I don't know a lot of
Like, I know- I'm
late
trying to
2000,
guess.
late 2000s college guys.
Dalton Reisner.
Oh, shoot. This is some,
It's random.
not Wyoming, is it?
He recently switched teams. He's with
Vikings. He's
Vikings
Vikings.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, and he actually signed.
He's some low end team that's like,
Not North Dakota State.
He's a
was
Power
it?
5.
Oh,
It's a
really?
Power 5 school.
Kansas State.
Second round pick by the Broncos the same year Drew Lock, I believe. I think they had 2 second rounders.
oh my God.
Drew Lock.
Who was that against? Because they ended up losing.
It was
I just want to
Texas.
see that over and over.
It was.
again.
It was. Hey, it was the horns down.
It was Texas.
It was. Yeah, it was Texas because they shut him out in the second half. Or
That was like, that was
that
like
Sam
Ellinger's like
Ellinger?
really
Because
good year.
Herman was doing it right back on the sideline because he's such a punk. I hate Tom Herman. Where is
The
he
Dogs
now?
are trying to help. He's at FAU, I think, isn't he? Florida Atlantic.
I can't stand that.
All right, you guys give up?
Reisner,
No,
yeah.
I
What
don't
state?
give up.
Gonna give it away.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Big 12 school.
Big 12. Kansas? No.
I guess Kansas
Close.
State, but
Kansas State.
oh, I guess
He
that.
said, he said
Oh, my,
Kansas.
my
State.
bad. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's because I was
Kansas.
thinking North
My bad.
Dakota State, but I think it's because Klein and their coach.
North Dakota State. Trey Lance, right? They went to NDSU.
Josie, any more trivia?
I do. So
All right.
we're gonna go with some Super Bowl records. So first, longest run in Super Bowl history.
We're talking like rush.
Oh, Willie Parker against the Seahawks.
yeah.
75.
75. That was a touchdown. Longest defensive play.
James Harrison.
James Harrison.
Are all these going to be Steelers?
No. Longest play in Super Bowl
Jacoby
history.
Jones, kick return.
How long?
Yeah.
112.
Can't be 112.
But the end zone.
which would be 10 yards.
Not.
Oh, so 110.
108.
Okay.
It's 108 is what it was recorded at. He was at the end of the end zone. Longest. This one's probably the most difficult because it's thrown back a little bit. Longest reception in Super Bowl
Is it
history.
Seahawks?
It is not the Seahawks.
Yeah, wasn't you were thinking of curse for you?
And I'll give you this.
It might
I
be
don't
one of the
believe. I don't
craziest,
believe
though.
that it was a touchdown.
What year? We don't know what year, but like
Years.
early 2000s or
Is it recent or
yeah,
is it
recent?
wow?
Wow.
I'll tell you. in 1
Lynn
second.
Swan, Drew
It's
Pearson.
not. It's. I don't think it's that far back.
Look at
2004.
2004.
Steelers.
No.
No.
2004 was Patriots.
Oh shoot.
Was it
the
the Panthers? It was
Panthers,
not.
Patriots?
It was yes. It was Panthers Patriots, and it was a Panthers player.
It wasn't Steve Smith.
It was a touchdown.
Muhammad, right? That's his name.
That's his last name.
Something Muhammad.
His name is-
Mahushaman.
That was very close. I'm
Alright.
impressed. Muhsin, Muhsin Muhsin Muhammad was his name.
I think that
85-yard touchdown.
It was a
Is-
touchdown?
It was a touchdown. I did verify that. So
Who was the only team to play in the AFC and NFC championship?
same year.
I'm not fact checking this either. I just found it
Ravens?
on Reddit.
Ravens weren't NFC.
Colts.
I'll fact check it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Colts?
I don't
Which
know any
Colts?
team that's been like switched conference.
I definitely wouldn't have gone.
All right, we have to rat. Is
They switched in 01.
Jacksonville?
I have
Like Baltimore Colts and
That's what
I think they were both AFL AFC though.
It went from the AFC to the NFC. And I wouldn't have known this. I cheated.
Not Tampa. Not New Orleans. Not Carolina wasn't. Was Carolina?
Could be Carolina.
Or did they start out in the AFC in
Not
'96?
Carolina.
the
Oh,
Oilers only changed their name, right?
I think yeah.
It's a team that
They went from AFC Central to.
It might be the Saints, dude.
No, I don't think so.
Minnesota.
Not Chicago.
Not Detroit.
not the Eagles. Was it? Oh yeah.
The Steagles.
He's just
Yeah, well, that was my first thought, but I was like, nah, that team sucks, and then they didn't play in the champion.
Because this is what I do too. I'm like, it's not this team.
All right, so if it was somebody in the NFC Championship recently, in the past 23 years,
So not recently. It's 20
well, the
years,
era,
I think.
same
You said
era.
win or just play in?
Play in, I think.
Play in.
Yeah, blue.
This is no.
Southwest.
Was Jets ever in the NFC?
It was someone
They're
that
in the
switched to
NFC
NFC now.
Oh,
Rams.
Nope.
Redskins.
Nope.
Chargers.
Josie just wanted to say
I
it.
just wanted to say the name.
Giants.
Nope.
Chargers.
Nope.
Chargers are in the AFC now. All right, we got Detroit, Green Bay, Chicago, Minnesota, Giants, Washington,
49ers.
Cowboys.
Cardinals.
Seahawks.
Seattle.
I did not know that they were in
I
there.
didn't know
Yeah, me neither.
Interesting. Good to know.
Any others? You can say no. We rattled off a lot.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right. In honor of, I think the final game, international game just being played last week, right? There's no more this year.
Correct.
Yeah. Who was the first NFL team to win a regular season game at Wembley?
I feel like it's too easy to say
It's
Jacksonville.
not Jacksonville.
Well, I was going to say Jacksonville too.
Baltimore.
I was gonna guess Detroit.
Baltimore.
It's probably like a sucky team because they don't want to like. Probably a team that doesn't get a lot of attendance because they like tried to.
Not Minnesota.
Is it a team that like you're like Washington?
It's
Remember when Minnesota beat us in 2013?
Yeah,
Le'Veon's
Minnesota.
first game. Le'Veon had like 2 touchdowns,
Dallas.
both for flipping.
Giants.
New York Giants.
What
first
year was
team.
that?
I could try to find out. I don't have that information on the. Is it called the Wembley series, right?
Sure.
All right, I got a trivia question to end it for Josie only.
Only Josie.
Ready?
Oh, well, why is it college football related?
What is Christian's birthday?
Oh,
Luke, do you know
Can I
it?
phone a friend?
you're an idiot if you don't know it.
Luke doesn't know it either.
Maybe if I don't know, I've never heard when your birthday is. When's my
How would I
birthday?
know? Is it today? Is it today?
Christian's birthday is easy.
I wouldn't be doing this if my birthday was today.
What's that mean?
Yes.
Too cool for
Is it on
us?
a holiday?
What's his
we would
name?
Be out celebrating.
His name's
At
Atheist.
Christmas? Is it
It's Christmas Day.
Cut
Is it
that.
really?
What'd
Did
he say?
I
He
said
said,
his
is
name's
it
Atheist.
No.
Atheism.
No, it's float.
My mom refused to go to the hospital.
Was it? Is it actually on Christmas Day?
Yeah, it's my due date too.
Congratulations! You only get presents once a year.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Like, here's your present for your birthday and for Christmas, Christian.
All right. Any closing thoughts?
No.
All right. As I mentioned, next week Eli won't be here. He's going to South Carolina, so we will have someone filling in for him. And I'm thinking, since we're gonna have a new guest, that we're gonna stick to a similar format. Lots of audibles, lots of conversation, kind of dipping back into the history, bringing up some old players, old stories. But all right, Josie has something right now.
Yeah, I do.
Let the
So,
clock runs down.
to answer Hayden's question from earlier, I did find the information. In 2007, the Miami Dolphins hosted the New York Giants for the first international series game in London, England. October 28th, 2007. The Giants defeated the Dolphins 13-0. 2007.
That would have been like the Ricky Williams, Ronnie Brown era.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Super Bowl year?
Is that Saban? Saban might have been coaching. Or not.
2007 New York Giants were head coach Tom Coughlin.
No, Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Sorry. Give me 1 second then.
No, I'm curious.
It was head coach Cam Cameron.
So it must have been Saban left
record-
in
I think
06.
he was at LSU.
What do you think the record was that year? The Dolphins.
05.
2013.
Nope. Lower.
2-14.
Lower.
1-15.
1-15.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And, but think about how much that one win helped them out, because I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Think about everyone knows about the 0-16 Browns, 0-16 Lions. Yeah.
Yep. They had one Pro Bowler that year. Final trivia question. Who was it?
Jason Taylor.
That is Jason Taylor.
All right.
And good answer.
I wonder if that probably was the year Ricky Williams was suspended the whole year and he was playing in Canada. All right, we're never.
Resignation of Nick Saban happened in 2006.
Okay.
So
Send that
Nick
in there.
Saban left.
I'm
right
not
before
taking that job at Alabama. Takes the
Okay.
job at Alabama. All right. This has been the Second and Short podcast. We'll see you next week.